So I want to show you, I have heaps of seedlings that I still need to plant out. Sitting on the veranda at the moment. So many onions. I've already planted heaps of onions out. I way overseeded on the onions this year. The other thing I want to show you is I've been making compost tea to feed my plants. And I'm going to show you in an upcoming video, I'm not sure when, how to make that compost tea and also give updates on how it's travelling, how it's working in the garden. All right, so welcome back to my garden. It has been raining non-stop. We are going to have a look around. I've got a couple of sweet peas here I want to get in the garden today. I want to show you how things are growing. Some things are growing a lot. And I think we may even be on the cusp of ready to pick corn, which is crazy because it's like autumn coming into winter. It's the very end of autumn, the very beginning of winter. We have had so much rain and it's our dry season. So I don't really know what to expect this year as far as like growth and things go. We are just seeing how it goes. If you watched my last video, I think it was my last garden video, I said I'm kind of doing it a little differently this year. I'm not making like big blocks of veggie things. I'm sort of scattering my seeds and my seedlings all over the yard, all over the garden. And that's working really well. The other thing that's happened is it is not zinnia season, okay? For us normally, I've tried to grow zinnias before in winter and they just get moldy and it's not a good thing. Last year's zinnias, some of them self-seeded into the soil. I've let that happen naturally. I have so many beautiful zinnias. I want to show you for autumn, winter, the amount of beautiful flowers I'm getting is incredible. So I want to show you that too. So we're going to pick what we can pick, which I don't think is much, maybe some beans, and I'm going to show you how things are growing and see how things are growing. So yeah, welcome. If you're new, this is my garden. I grow the vegetables we eat for the majority, and this year I once again went crazy with onions. So let's have a look at how things are going. So normally I would also mow before I bring you out here, but like I said, it's been non-stop rain. So the grass is overgrown, but that's okay. Here we have our latest carrots in this bed here, and some of them are getting nice and tall. I did also plant some cabbages in here because I think I saw on Pinterest or something, they go well as companion plants. So that's a weed. I'm going to pull that out. There. All right. Let's see if any of these carrots are even getting fat yet. No, they're not. And that's what I do. I dig around this root here. And if I start to see, you know, some bulbing, I know that the carrots are getting nice and fat. These ones are still obviously going downwards. So I'll leave that there. But that is the carrots, and that's the majority of the carrots growing so far. I've got my tub of oregano, little nasturtium over here in the corner, just doing what it does. This is my herb bed. Now I still haven't moved it. I wanted to move this bed, but the herbs are looking happy. A rogue tomato has decided to grow, and some nasturtiums decided to plant themselves there as well. Here is my asparagus bed, and I've just trimmed off all the leaves because it was getting ridiculous. This here is one of my little experiment worm farms that I started doing, where I put compost or food scraps in here, and it's buried. It's got holes in this little tub, and the worms eat that and turn it into worm fertilizer. So that one's still going. I've pulled most of my other ones out, but yeah. My plan is still to move my herb bed and my asparagus bed. And I do know you're not supposed to move asparagus once you plant it. It's sort of a forever crop in that spot. But our veranda deck is nearly going to be completed, so I don't want my beds that close to the house. When I did this garden originally, it was a total experiment. I have moved my garden that many times on this property, which I've mentioned in other videos, and so I was just trying to see anywhere that would grow. So I didn't think it through as much where I should put these beds. I was really just trying to see if I could have any success, and I have been really happy with how we've gone so far, but I do want to move these beds away from the house. Now, this here was never meant to be pumpkin. This was meant to be a broccoli and cauliflower bed. And I thought I had planted some mini pumpkins in there. Turns out I didn't. They were full size. This will probably be a Jap pumpkin. You've got some fruit trying to come up there. And if I search, there's some garlic, all right, because I did plant garlic in here. And these grassy looking things, these are garlic, and I do believe they want a bit more sun than they're currently getting. That there, that's onions, and there is, well, cabbages that have been harvested by an animal now. So we have been having some rodent problems this year. That's new for us as well. And I'm not sure if it's rats, mice, or hares. Hares like a giant bunny. The fencing we have, any one of those could get through it. The fencing is really just for kangaroos. Now the cats do come out here and they do a good job of clearing up things like mice, but we are definitely noticing losses, which we're not 100% sure whether that's rat or hare at this stage. So I'm trying to find ways to alleviate that. I'm planting herbs and things in between, but I think sometimes you're just going to take a loss, and so that's what it is. This pumpkin, I don't know if that'll stay. As beautiful and healthy as it looks, pumpkins, they kind of become a bit of a snake trap. And if you've been watching for a while, I live in Queensland, in Australia. Snakes are a part of life here, but you know, they're going to go into things like overgrown. All right. We still haven't cleaned up our grass situation, so let's not have too good of a look over there. I want to show you these zinnias. So this is the salad bar, and this is where we planted a lot of zinnias last season or through summer, and we are getting beautiful rocket here. Also, I think the Northern Hemisphere might call it arugula. That's rocket for us. I've got a couple of leeks going on the sides. These zinnias all planted themselves. This one is really cool. It's got 3 heads on the one. So they have all self-seeded. I didn't plant any of those. I did plant these little beetroots in here, all right, among my lettuce, the rocket at the end. We've got some garlic here. There's a couple of rogue carrots in there as well. Different salad greens. As you can see, I've harvested some. That was me already. Beautiful cos. That one's ready to pick. So my salad bar bed may just be my favourite at the moment. I just love it. I love the flowers. I love the fresh lettuce, the fresh rocket. If you haven't grown your own lettuce before, I really encourage you. You can grow lettuce on a balcony in a pot. It's so much better than what you buy. It lasts longer in your fridge once you do harvest it, and it's just delicious. I mean, the crunch alone, so good. Moving on from that bed brings us to this bed, and this one has been like sort of higgledy-piggledy planted as well. The tomatoes in the middle here, I didn't plant those, they've planted themselves. I did plant everything else, so we've got chives, some coriander coming along, and it's so beautiful. Our garlic, which doesn't look great, but that will be because we've had non-stop rain, and it's still been warm, so it's probably been too hot to even have garlic in the ground yet. Onions trying, a lettuce. No, that's not a lettuce, that's calendula. Calendula over here. A couple of beetroots. Some spring onions for something different. Broccoli. That's a sprouting broccoli, that one. More garlic, which really just needs it to cool down and to stop raining. And then we've got some foxglove flowers in the middle. I can't remember, but I think they were some kind of radish. Beetroots. Strawberries, which again, too much rain, they're not happy. And then a couple of little flowers there. So this is the tomato patch, and it's going crazy, but it's still warm, so it would. Down here, I pulled all my dahlias out, but I left a tuber in the ground, obviously. So I'm still getting these beautiful dahlia blooms coming through. They're in the middle of the tomato patch, but that's cool. And then again, we've got zinnias popping up in between that have planted themselves as well. What I did plant around my tomatoes were onions, but I don't think most of them have survived. And I am getting, I don't know if you can see this, a couple of little tomatoes are trying to form, so that's great news, because summer we really only got the little cherries, so we didn't get a lot of real tomatoes or big tomatoes, so I'm hopeful that we're going to get some good big tomatoes. But isn't she beautiful? So I'm going to pick some beans. The trick with beans is pick them every couple of days, and you'll find you have a continual flush of beans. So that's just that one here. All right, there are more on this bush to pick. I love growing beans and eating fresh beans. They are a million times better than anything you'll buy, especially if you've grown them organically yourself, and then you pick them and you eat them fresh, freshly picked. I can hear the bees are working. We've got the bees back. So good. some more. So that is, I picked about this many 2 days ago. All right, a good handful of beans. So we're getting that about every 2 days. The next to and behind my beans, I have little tiny beetroot seedlings. I've got some golden beetroot over there. I've got some red beetroot over here. I've got onions of all varieties everywhere throughout the garden. Here's some more beetroot. They're so tiny. There's dill, I think, over there, has self-seeded. A little basil. Again, more zinnias putting themselves there. Now, this tomato plant keeps falling over, so we're going to pull this out today because it's crushing other things. And then marigolds, chili, rainbow carrots were here, I do believe. And then again, more onions trying to survive. And some leeks. I think the last time you were out here with me, the leeks were the tiny little threads. So they are now getting nice and big. I picked a large one yesterday. I'm going to use that in an upcoming cooking video. Here we have some peas, some lettuce, which we've already harvested twice. So that's sort of the remnants of what's left. And a couple more beans that haven't fruited yet. There we go. All right, continuing on from our beans. Okay, we have leeks and some little squashed beetroots. I have lemongrass here, which has really taken off. And I did transplant a rosemary. I'm hoping that will survive. And some little viola flowers there. Over here, I have filled this small bed with onions. Which you can barely see, they're just little green threads. Here is the more established peas, but yeah, it's snow peas, these ones. Something has been chewing off the tops, stealing the peas. So not real big. We've got a trap here to try and trap anything, but it hasn't caught anything yet. Here we go, more self-seeded zinnias, nasturtiums, and our corn crop. This is the cob I'm watching at the moment because it's nice and fat. It's starting to brown on the silks. Once those silks are browned, I've got to beat whatever is out here to it. I'm really tempted to just pick this one and have a look. I don't think it's quite ready. Yes, but that's the one I'm watching the most. We've got quite a few have pollinated, so that's fantastic. Most of these stalks have at least 2, or have 2, so that's really great news. And if I can beat the other bugs, or what other animals think that this is their dinner, will be great. So that is a sweet corn variety that I've planted there as well. Those ones, I bought seedlings, that's right. I didn't plant those as seeds. The seeds I planted, the birds came and ate, so we don't have those. Next to the corn, we have some self-seeded dill and more onions and a bit of lavender. And a couple of capsicum plants here. There's some onions there, not that you can really see them, they're tiny little green threads. Those ones are a little more visible. Here's our lavender. Nasturtium, which I'm hoping will be a bit of a bug trap for other things. And then this is again the other side of the tomato sort of patch. And the zinnias. Some of these colours are so stunning. And pale and pastel. There's another dahlia. This one has like milky petals. It's incredibly pale pink, this one. It's so pretty. There are onions in there as well. Going to pick a couple of these because they're just so pretty. There we go. I'm slipping in the mud. Zinnias may need to be officially, I was going to say my favourite, but then I look at the dahlia and I'm like, well, I just love them both. I will grab some lettuce while I'm out here, but let's keep going. I want to show you what we ended up doing with that overgrown bed. All right, so this was that overgrown bed, and it was covered in black plastic because it was way overgrown with long grass from last season's growing of onions. So what we've done is we ended up taking the black plastic off. We burnt off the grass and we have built a base on an angle because this part of the property is sloping, and then I've put new dirt in and planted it up. So far what we have is beetroots, onions, a couple of different cabbages, which I don't know if they'll survive. It's still really hot, which means cabbage moths are everywhere. This bit of trellis here, I'm going to put some sweet peas on today. The basil behind us is in full bloom, and I'm leaving it like that because it's full of bees. And we have had no bees for a while. So anything that's attracting the bees right now can stay. Now for nasturtiums, this is exactly why I grow it. I don't think nasturtiums are the most amazing plant, although they are edible and their little flowers are edible and they're pretty, they kind of take over. And the thing is, this is why I grow them. This is a perfect example because the cabbage moth love it, all right? And the plan is for the cabbage moth to eat that instead of the cabbages. All right, more bees, so many bees. I'm thrilled we've got all these bees, but I do have to be careful around them. We have had cosmos self-seed, which I also love, one of my other favourite plants there. These zinnias self-seeded. And then I've got a couple of capsicums and then a couple of capsicums on the end here. So I'm going to plant up some of my sweet peas today. And the rest behind here is onions. And then over in this bed, we have maize corn. That is rainbow corn. So the golden or the glass gem, that's glass gem corn. And then we have some beetroot, some onions, which are getting much thicker, so they're easier to see. Little chilies that were self-seeded from my chili bush. Capsicums. Strawberry, foxglove, sweet peas already on this trellis. And this year I've added pansies. Not all of my sweet peas are ready to be planted, but there is a couple, and I'm just going to take those ones out. Being careful not to get stung by any bees. So this year I've got lots of different flowers I want to plant out for winter, but they're not quite ready. So sweet peas it is for now. I want to show you my herbs that I've transplanted into the barrel. So this is just a small pot here, and I have just put some mint in there. I would never put mint in my garden. It's too invasive, but I love to eat mint. So keeping it in pots keeps it manageable. This is one of our whiskey barrels, all right, and I have put herbs in here, which I transplanted out of other parts of the garden, so they have all taken off, including some weeds which can leave now. We don't need them. But so what we've got is some parsley here, Italian parsley, some chives, some more parsley, oregano, and then down here, so one of the planks broke off in the whiskey barrel, as you can see. And what I did was put some Alyssium here, and it just sort of hangs out the bottom. I think it looks beautiful. I love it. Next to that, the other whiskey barrel is a little bit of a sad pumpkin patch. All right, but despite the look of this, we have got pumpkin vine growing and a couple of small fruits, which I'm hoping turn into pumpkins. So if you're wanting to know how to self-pollinate, so I'll show you how to self-pollinate your pumpkin. So if you're growing pumpkin but you're finding you don't get any actual fruit, let me show you a female flower and a male flower and how to pollinate them so that you have a better chance if your bees aren't working for you. I'm pretty sure mine are because they're right there behind me, but I'm going to show you, for anyone who doesn't know what a female or a male flower looks like on a pumpkin, it's really easy once you've been shown how to spot them. Come along a pumpkin vine, you look for the flowers, right? And here we have one here. This is a female flower, and how I know is because it has the little fruit here, okay? It also has multiple components on the inside. Okay, so that is your female. That's where the pumpkin will actually grow from. There's one that has matured, the flower's falling off. Hopefully that turns into a big, beautiful pumpkin. Travel along the vine, you'll find male flowers. This is a male flower. A male has a single, I think it's called a stamen in the middle, but also if you look under, there's no fruit. It's just one long stem and a flower. So that there is also a male. There's no fruit at the base of the flower. All right, so they are not going to turn into pumpkins, but I need that in order to get a pumpkin to grow. So unless the flower's been pollinated, your pumpkin isn't even going to turn into anything, despite the fact that you've got a flower and a fruit under it. It has to be pollinated, and normally you'll have birds and bees and bugs and things that do that job for you. If you live in an area or you're concerned that you're not going to get pollination, you can self-pollinate, and I'll show you how to do that. So in order to self-pollinate, or to do it, you do it instead of the bugs, you need to get a male flower that has pollen. And if you look in here, you can see the yellow fluff, powdery product. That's the pollen. So what I do is I'll pick this flower at the stem. Being careful, I don't want to lose that pollen that's in there. And then I'll take this over to my female flower. And here, side by side, you can see the difference. So the bees want to do that job instead, which I prefer. I don't want to go around hand pollinating all the pumpkins. But if you do need to know how to do it, what I do is I'll take my male flower, so leave your female flower on the vine, take your male flower, and now there's a few ways to do it. You can just put a cotton swab on your male flower and leave him on there, or you can pull it off like I've done, and I'm just peeling off the petal. All right, I'm leaving the yellow in there, the dust, the pollen, and then you want to just put this circular yellow pollen onto the inner part of the female flower. So let's see how we go. Here we have our little male flower with the pollen. And just check we don't have anyone in there. We don't. We take this, and you just want that pollen all over. Now, I don't normally leave the little stamen in there. Take that out if I can. You don't want to damage your female flower though, okay? And just like that, that one is definitely pollinated. Because the bees were already doing that job for me, I know that one was pollinated, but that's how you would self-pollinate pumpkin if you needed to. And I think you can do the same with zucchinis and things like that as well. The last of the vegetable garden is this other little herb garden I've got going on here. And something overnight has been digging holes in here. But here we have just parsley, coriander, chives, another tomato that put itself there, some more calendula. I'm growing calendula to use in the kitchen more for medicinal sort of teas and also to use in my soaps. Okay, so this bed I'm going to clean out. It's got capsicums and chilies in it, and I'm just getting the last of those before I pull them. And I'll move this bed over here next to this little one, so they'll go down the hill. So this bed's been given to my two youngest. They wanted their own little patch, and they've got just some zinnias, some chives because that's their favourite herb, a little pansy here, some pretty little purple violas. They've got raspberry canes along the back, a couple of strawberries along the front, and they also wanted their own peas and their own cosmos. So that's what this little kids garden is. So that's the current state of the veggie patch, how it's all looking, how it's all growing. It's still hot here, it's still rainy, and things are growing beautifully. Okay, the last thing I want to do is grab some citrus in our basket. So what we have here are pink grapefruit, and they are ready. Some sides are still a little green because they haven't seen the sun, but we have been picking these already and they are delicious. So that's a ruby grapefruit for anyone who's wondering. That's why it's sort of pinkish instead of just yellow. All right, and I do need to grab a couple. For inside, we've been using them in drinks, so I'll just juice them like one at a time and put some soda water with it, and it's a really delicious drink. I did try canning some and they were a little bitter, so I'm not a fan of canned grapefruit, but I did give it a go. Yeah, I'm looking for the most coloured ones. That's a nice big one there. All right, so I don't need too many of these inside right now. I've also got mandarins this year, and I'm so excited because our mandarin tree is a few years old, but we haven't always gotten mandarins off it. This year they're sweet, they're beautiful, even though it's still hot. So I did hear you need to wait for a frost in order to get sweet citrus, but not for us, it would seem. It's sweet, it's beautiful. The kids have been harvesting it. It's only a small tree, so we're going to grab a couple of them before they're all gone as well. So this is my mandarin tree, and you can see there's peelings on the ground. They are so delicious. All right, now I wish I had paid more attention when I bought this tree as to the variety, because they are really beautiful and sweet. They're the kind that have sort of the loose skin, not so much the tight skin on them. They do have seeds, so they're not a seedless, I should say, variety. So yeah, if you're looking for a delicious citrus, it may have been Imperial, I'm not sure. They're so sweet. This is the first year we've gotten oranges too. One orange. I could eat every one of these mandarins. They are so good. So we do have limes on the tree, we have lemons and lemonades. I'm not going to pick any of those today. I did get, this is new, the ice cream bean tree here. So that has, so apparently the ice cream bean tree has like bean pods full of something that resembles fairy floss or cotton candy, and it's super sweet. So in a few years, very keen to try those. All right, well that's it for me today. Thanks so much for spending time with me in the garden. Hope you enjoyed this little garden tour video and harvesting of some beans and mandarins, it would seem. Oh, and flowers, don't forget we got flowers. Join me next time by hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. Don't forget to like and share the video so that other people see the videos, so that YouTube starts sharing this content around a bit more. I really appreciate every one of you who watches the videos. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for engaging, leaving comments. And I hope that each one of you has a fantastic week. I will catch you next time. Bye.